Okay, so in today's video, we're going to be talking about a couple different situations that all involve the same person. And more specifically, the person in question is Nara Smith with 8.8 million followers. If we look at her page, you can see she gets a lot of views. I'm talking like 10 million at least, it seems. Some with like 30 odd million views. And a lot of these videos are from her cooking, or more specifically like cooking or baking from scratch.
My husband mentioned that he was craving Coca-Cola the other day, and since we were out of soda, I decided to make him some today. I started by making my caramel sugar by combining...
Okay, and also you can see, like, the aesthetic of her videos. She kind of talks, like, really close to the microphone, talks really quietly. It's quite, like, an aesthetic way it's filmed. It's a very specific style. Now, the first situation we're talking about is something that happened a couple of weeks ago, but it ties into the more recent stuff that only happened, like, a day ago or 2 days ago. And it involves another TikToker called onezwambola. Now, she also does a lot of cooking videos, kind of cooking from scratch, except the difference is you can actually see her, like, going out and, like, is harvesting the word? I don't know what the right word is, but she goes out and gets her own ingredients. And again, I don't know if harvesting's right, but you get what I mean.
So I did my primary schooling in Johannesburg, and because we lived in Newville, I got to interact.
Okay, so I mean, as you can see by this video, it's a very similar style in terms of like, she's talking quite close to the microphone, like very soft spoken, quite aesthetic in the way that she's filming and stuff. Like, the videos have a pretty similar style. But the thing is here, people actually recently started calling out Nara Smith for copying Onezwa. There's a few different bits of evidence that people use. One specifically was that Nara Smith's old videos are very different to her new style, which is very similar to Onezwa.
Before she discovered onezwa.
Salad with some salmon.
Let's start by making the crispy lentils. So I cooked some lentils and then just...
After she started copying onezwa.
chocolate cake, so when everyone went to bed, I started baking.
Okay, so as you can see, in her first video, she kind of just did your like standard cooking videos, she's just talking over them normally, and then she started doing this kind of like soft-spoken like voiceover. People also noticed when Onezwa would make a video making whatever she was making, Nara would potentially make a video a few days after, making the same type of stuff.
Hi, I'm onezwa, and I make meals using items that have grown, raised, or
Sprinkled
foraged.
it with some cornstarch, baking soda, soy sauce, and spaghetti.
I mean, yeah, like, the fact that that was 2 days after, it does seem like she saw Onezwa's video and maybe thought that's a good idea, I'll do it myself. I guess to say someone's copying your cooking video is probably quite a hard thing to do because so many people have made cooking videos at this point and so many people have used so many different styles. But again, if you're uploading the exact same recipe a couple of days later and it's happened multiple times, I can see why people would maybe think they're just copying. We also have this video from Onezwa making boba, and this was posted on the 10th of June, and this is the style of it, as you can see.
Hi, I'm onezwa, and I make meals using items that have grown, raised, or foraged.
So the same type of style that we've seen previously. Now 2 days later again, Nara uploaded a new video that's pretty similar.
Decided to make it today. I combined some brown sugar and water, let that heat up before adding in some tapioca, starch, and black food coloring. I then
Yeah, so the videos carry on and they go on to make pretty much the exact same thing. So you can see why people are taking these bits of evidence that we've seen so far and thinking, okay, Nara is copying Onezwa's videos. Obviously, there's a style of them and the recipes, but then you can say, like, no one owns that style, no one owns that recipe unless it is an original recipe. But I think it's the dates in between them with them being so close to each other, which makes it seem like that. And like I said, this is all stuff from a couple of weeks ago, but it does tie into the most recent stuff, which is to do with copying content. That's why I'm showing you this. Now, when Nara started getting a bunch of comments in the videos, like saying, are you copying, like, Onezwa's videos? She did reply saying, I've never seen her videos, nor do I follow her. I'm not the first or last person to make boba. But then people started doing some digging and saw that Nara had actually previously commented on some of Onezwa's videos, like this one, for example, saying, I'm so sorry you have to deal with these comments. Your content is so inspiring. Onezwa even replied saying, thank you, Nara. I'm not sure what the context is of that comment, but she had commented on a previous video. And it seems like Onezwa also feels like Nara is copying her content because she has even mentioned it in a few videos at this point.
For months now, I have watched a very, very popular content creator use my ideas, and again, I'm not the first person to do anything. They have continuously used my ideas to get views. Now, that would be fine, except in South Africa, we don't get paid for views, and where she is, they get paid for views. So she has been making money off stealing my content.
Okay, so I could see why she would be annoyed if this is the case, right? I'm not going to go all out and say that Nara is definitely copying Onezwa, but if she believes she has, and say she has here, I can see why she would be annoyed, because Nara can make money I don't actually know where she's from. I think like America. But as Inez was saying here, she can't make money on TikTok in her country. So I can see why she'd be annoyed. Like someone stealing her content and also making money from it when she's not able to on TikTok.
Recently, I made a boba tea. We all saw it. We all loved it. And I was so very, 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 very proud of that video. I tweeted about it. I was so excited for it. And then a day later, she made a boba video. And you might say it may be a coincidence. That would be fine if it was a coincidence, except it's a coincidence that happens very often. So is it really a coincidence?
Yeah, so that boba video is obviously what I just showed you a second ago, and as you're saying right here, it could have been a coincidence, but it's happened multiple times now. Now, in that video, Onezwa actually never mentions Nara's name, but since then, she has actually mentioned Nara's name in other videos.
Nara Smith was making kale salads with lemon juice and olive oil before she started stealing content ideas from small content creators. Now, I know she's not slow, and she intentionally misconstrued what I said with the comment about not being the first to make boba because she knew you would run with it, and gallop you did.
So yeah, as you can hear, Inez was saying that Nara made completely different content before allegedly copying Inezwa's videos, and then also responded to Nara saying that she's not the first person to make boba, but that's obviously not exactly the full point here. It's like the video timelines, the style of them, like there's a few different things here. Now, Onezwa went on to show a screenshot on Twitter of an email that she received that she believes was from Nara Smith. Now, it's very important to note here that Nara Smith has since came out and said that this is just like not true, like she never sent this. And also Onezwa has now deleted the tweet. So I think there is a chance that maybe someone else sent this email pretending to be Nara to Onezwa, and Onezwa thought it was actually from like Nara's team. But it's this long email here saying that Onezwa has been publicly claiming that Nara's been stealing their videos and that these allegations are entirely false. The videos in question are not my original creations, and I have all the necessary proof of this on social media platform TikTok. Your false accusations have caused significant harm to my personal and professional reputation. This email serves as a formal notice that if you do not retract your statements and cease making these defamatory claims immediately, I will have no choice but to pursue legal action against you for defamation of character. Again, I don't know if this email is real from the stuff we've seen. Like I said, Nara denied that it was real, and it's now being deleted. So take that how you will. But that's actually what brings us to the most recent situation. So as you can see, there's already this bit of like a reputation with Nara that maybe, potentially, allegedly, she has copied some videos previously. So you can imagine when this creator here, marykorlindowns, actually made a video saying that she had also been copied from Nara Smith, people were pretty interested. Now here's the video in question, which is Nara Smith promoting a new Marc Jacobs bag, and this was the promotion.
I've been craving a delicious red Marc Jacobs tote bag since I woke up, so instead of going to the store to buy one, I thought I would make it myself. Started by mixing my flour, eggs, and water to make the dough, all in one bowl so there weren't too many dishes. Added red food dye to my dough to give it a rich, true red color. I started kneading the dough with my hands to make sure it was silky smooth. I grabbed a rolling pin to roll out the dough and started to cut out the pieces of my tote. I popped it in the oven and baked it for about an hour. When I went to the oven to check on my tote, it was perfectly risen and red, so I took it out to cool. It tasted so much better than a shop-bought tote bag. This one really hits the spot.
Okay, so as you can see, it's actually a pretty good promotion because it just looks like a Nara Smith video, and then she goes on to make this bag they're obviously promoting. And people clearly love this, right? Because this comment here said, now this is marketing, has 134,000 likes. But this is actually the point where Mary comes into it and posts a video saying that Nara or Marc Jacobs, which is important to know here, has copied this idea.
I've been tagged and DM'd so much from the Marc Jacobs and Nara Smith video that was posted this morning. A lot of people defending me, which I'm so thankful for, saying that I did this concept back in December, which I did. I never think one person owns an idea or owns a concept. We are all in this creative field and we all take different versions of this concept and make it our own. However, I do feel like it wasn't made her own. There's actually 2 videos that I feel like she took from me and made it to be one video for Marc Jacobs. The video that a lot of my friends are referring to when they're tagging me is this video that I made back in December. There's lots of similarities, but you're right, it's not the same across the board. I'm pretty disappointed in Marc Jacobs though, because I was sent this bag to make this. I made this as a gifting collab.
Okay, right, so that's the first video she believes is copied. Now, obviously she's saying here is that there's 2 videos that she has made previously that seem to have been combined from Mary's point of view to make Nara's video. Now, this first one's where she puts a cherry into the oven and it comes out as this bag, so that's kind of like the oven sequence in Nara's video. And another important note there is that Mary's video doing that was promoting the exact same bag, or at least it looked like the exact same bag to me, and it was a gifted promotion from Marc Jacobs where they sent the bag out to Mary, so that's why Marc Jacobs should probably be aware of this video. They've definitely seen it. Now, Mary goes on to show the second video that kind of shows the beginning sequence in Nara's video that she believes is copied.
I'm kind of upset is because it's literally half of this video and then the last half of the last video, which is Nara's video. And Nara was tagged in this video, so I know she's probably seen it, and I know Marc Jacobs has probably seen the last video. So I'm kind of upset that they let that one slide.
Okay, so I think this part of the video is a bit more different to Nara's, because obviously in Nara, she rolls the dough, puts red food coloring in it, rolls it, turns into the bag. Whereas in this video by Mary, she's obviously like rolling a shirt with a towel, it looked like, and making it look like she made the shirt like that. I get the similarities, but I think that's a bit different to like the oven sequence. I think the oven sequence is very similar, obviously.
I know Nara makes cooking videos and she's also into fashion, so it's not a stretch. In the end, I think the biggest thing that makes me sad and disappointed is that there's so many people in the comments saying that like Marc Jacobs' marketing team is a creative genius or Nara is a creative genius. Reading those comments make me really happy because deep down I'm like, oh, that's kind of, it's almost like they're talking about me.
Okay, so you see what you're saying, right? She believes that her idea has been copied here, or at least replicated. And I think a big reason why this went so big is because obviously Nara potentially has this reputation already from a previous situation. I mean, if we look at the comments here, we can see there's comments like, oh, a onezwam idea, look at God doing his work. Isn't Nara Smith the same one that another creator's been saying she is stealing from? Sucks you don't have more views. Others could see she does it to many and she's really not that creative. And like I said before, there is an important thing to note here, that it is a promotion with Marc Jacobs again. So Marc Jacobs could have definitely told Nara Smith to make the video like this. So to me, this isn't really concrete proof that she copied this idea. Marc Jacobs are clearly aware of Mary's video. They might have told Nara Smith to do a similar one. Obviously, it matches Nara Smith's content with like the cooking channel. So I can see that happening. And also an important thing to note that a lot of people brought up is that making like clothes or like a different item the same way you would food isn't like a brand new concept. It has been done before. Like there's this one, for example, that people are bringing up, like how to make diamond rings. This is by Raven Fine Jewelers. Okay, so it's got copyrighted music in it, but as you can see, he's kind of like making the rings. He goes to bake it, and as you can probably imagine, it makes like actual diamond rings. As you can see here, he's putting it in. Yeah. And voila, he says, it has made diamond rings. So obviously the concept isn't exactly fully original like the vast majority of concepts are. It's very hard to make an original concept nowadays because so much has been done. But yeah, I would love to know your opinions in the comment section down below on everything that we spoke about. Do you think that Nara is guilty of copying videos in this case? Or do you think that the concepts that have been allegedly copied are not like unique enough to be copied? I don't know, let me know your thoughts all in the comment section down below. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please do a like, subscribe, all that stuff. And until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.